Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from Group 11, we representing about methodology and measurement, GDNT application on shelf, DNM 30203 section 2. This is our Group 11 members. Firstly, me, Muhammad Muraiza bin Hassan, matrix number CN190269. Second, Nazwa Mimpi bin Syafi'i, matrix number CN190169. Third, Fakun Rahman bin Rahman, matrix number 8N190079. Fourth, Alis Aliyah binti Azhar, matrix number AN190027. Fifth, Muhammad Haziq Salikin bin Azizi, matrix number AN190129. Sixth, Shazin Natasha Suraya binti Syari, AN190086. For the introduction, I will present about the objective, project, scope, and review on the need of GDNT. Firstly, what is GDNT? GDNT is a set of standardized symbols and conventions that are used to describe parts in a way that make it easier for customers, manufacturers, and other supply chain participants to successfully communicate. Parts that are manufactured in a shop must meet specific specifications. These specifications are shown on engineering drawings, which are normally produced by CAD software or SolidWorks software. DNT is particular set of convention used on engineering drawing, often called print from the older blueprints. They communicate how parts should fit together and how they function. This course will show us the basics of how to understand DNT symbol and their use. DNT is a standardized international system based on symbols that can be clearly understood by anyone that is familiar with the standard. It is a mathematical language, and it does not require us to be a math expert in order to understand and use the system. DNT is a significant improvement over traditional model system for describing dimensions that relate to the fit, form, and function of parts. It is very precise as well as concise relative to this or the system. This is described in terms of zone of tolerance that are relative to the Cartesian coordinate system. If GDNT seems complex, it is only because there is a long list of ways physical parts can deviate from the geometry ideal. What is the designer had in mind? The shaft could be slightly bent, slightly tempered, slightly tilted, and slightly offset from where it was intended. When we will consider all the different kinds of geometry found in machine parts, it's no wonder that categorizing all the defects in geometry get a bit complicated. GDNT actually brings some order to the complexity and make it systematic. Next.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Alice. So I will explain our objective of GTNT. Okay, first is to describe maximum and minimum of the product condition that will be fit and function as at the assembly phase. Okay, second, to specify the geometry of the perfect product pieces that has been developed or drawn by our group. Okay, third is to specify the allowable geometric tolerance for product parts. And last one is to ensure the engineering drawing are clearly conveyed. Okay, thanks. Next. Okay. For the scope, our group project cover the discipline methodology of GD&T application of a shaft that consists of theories by using SolidWorks software. And the thing that we need to know, GD&T is designed to facilitate communication between entities that need to work together to manufacture something. Okay, I will pass to Isaac.
Okay, we will proceed to the purpose of GD&T. Engineers and manufacturers can better manage difference in their production process by using a system for establishing and communicating design intent and engineering tolerance. Second is allowed to know 100% assurance whether the piece will be fit in and work at the assembly level or assembly phase. For an example, when part features are critical to function or interchangeability, if you're making a part that has to fit with a part made by someone else, you better call out all the features that will govern whether if it fits properly. And when the functional gauging techniques are desirable, think of functional gauge as measuring devices intended to verify a particular feature is within tolerance. For example, a go/no-go gauge. And the third, when the term references are desirable to ensure consistency between manufacturing and gauging operation, a datum is used to show where a measurement is taken from. For example, CNC are familiar with part zero being an important datum that measures where the motion of the CNC machine starts from for a particular part. And therefore, when standard interpretation and tolerance are not already implied, there is no need to over-specify tolerance that are implied in some other way. For example, we might specify a trait without needing to provide a bunch of GDT to lay out the dimension and tolerance of every feature of the trait. Just saying which trait it is tells us most everything we need to know about its dimension and tolerance. Next.
So, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Shazlin. So, for the next presentation, will be the methodology part, which is in this chapter, will include the procedure, how to generate a good GD&T, and the handling and safety precaution during generate a good GD&T. Next slide. So there's a few steps in this procedure to generate a good GD&T. As we know, GD&T, which is geometric, dimensional, and tolerancing, is very important in every design and drawing a project. There is a lot of drawing that create more confusion regarding the setup for manufacturing and inspection, since it does not clarify how the designer intended to control. A proper drawing and information are needed to produce a good product and to simplify the communication to avoid the miscommunication issue. So there is a few steps of procedure to get a correct and a good and complete GD&T drawing, which is the step one. We have to define the part features that will serve as the origin for measurement with particular direction, which is there is a few criteria of datum. There is 5 criteria, which is representative of mating features, reflect functional assembly, stable, repeatable, and accessible. And the next step, which is using datum, specify nominal basic dimension for the location and orientation of features. And the third step is set the tolerance zone boundaries for part features in the terms of shape and size, as well as compliance standards. So the next step, which is the fourth step, is allow dynamic interaction of tolerance zones between features in the part and across part, simulating assembly possibilities for maximizing tolerance. And lastly, which is step 5, how to generate a good GD&T. We have to analyze of the cost of precision versus the cost of poor quality for optimal tolerance. So there is a few steps that we have to look into to generate a good geometric dimensional and tolerancing, which is GDNT. That's all from me. So the next presentation, I will pass to Fakrul. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fakrul Nur Aiman. I will explain about the technical drawing that we already draw, which is shaft. So, in this drawing, there are some of the information that we have included, which is the first one is all the dimension that must be included for the shaft. So, there is top view, side view, and also front view. So, we apply the GDNT at the sum of the part, which is the first one is we take angle, we control the angle, which is A. We put the tolerance 0.015 for the maximums of the angle that we can go, and we label it as A. The second one is we take a perpendicular of the shaft, which is at the front of the shaft, and we also put the maximum tolerance is 0.015, that is labeled as B. And the third one is we take a circular and we control the diameter of circular, which is the maximum of the tolerance that we can go is 0.015. All the dimension is in the millimeter, and we also put some note that state that drawing are based on the NC B4.1, and the linear tolerance will be plus minus 0.015, and also all the fillet is 1 millimeter, and also chamber 45 degree with 0.5 diameter millimeter. So next one, we will talk about the handling and the safety precaution in doing the GDNT process. So we all know that GDNT is a very difficult and complicated standard that can result in reading and interpretation mistake. So we need to do a safety precaution in order to get the best result. So some basics of rule that we need to follow is, the first one is tolerance are required for all dimension. The second one is the nominal ideal geometry are allowed variation must be completely defined by dimension and tolerance. And the third one is, unless otherwise noted, we need to ensure that all the dimension and tolerance are valid at 20 degrees Celsius. So next one is uh, we need to know that dimension and tolerance are valid while the item is in a free state. So the fifth one is dimension and tolerance can be applied to a feature entire length, width, and depth. And the last one is dimension and tolerance can only be applied when they are indicated in the drawing. So that's all from me. I will continue the presentation with the other presenter.
Hi, my name is Nazan Hamidi. I will present about the conclusion. So, as we know about the concept and understanding on meteorology and measurement, we also understanding about its important in engineering and industry, where in order to make sure the product function properly based on how it is designed to. Each part in product that being produced need to obtain the right size and measurement. Particular aspect of meteorology and measurement embraces various disciplines of science and technology, but this project covers GD&T. So that's all from me. I will pass to Haziq Salikin.
Okay, my name is Haziq and I will continue for the part of recommendation. Oh, as we know that ecology and measurement is still a vast area that has various of disciplines of science and technology. So, as one of the recommendation is combination of a few different disciplines. Uh, while focusing on only one discipline, the student cannot learn more or gain any additional knowledge. So when few disciplines being combined, especially in doing some projects or activity, they can gain more knowledge. They can find more additional extra information that can help their understanding in metrology. Other than that, other recommendation is students need to be exposed frequently towards the measuring tools and equipment. The biggest difference was when they be exposed more, they not only can learn more about the equipment, they can uh, increase their techniques and also their experience on how handling the measurement tools that can give them benefits when they go into the industry later. So that's all for recommendation.
That's all from us, Group 11. And thank you. Assalamualaikum